feels like, you know, a century ago when there was a new person at the helm. And Sam, it seemed like a celebration. It seemed like a party. Everyone who was anyone in Meru town was there, except, of course, for one person, Kawira Mwangaza. But take us through what this is. So the court upholds, you know, her impeachment by, of course, the county assembly and, of course, the proceedings at the Senate. And she's out. And no sooner has the, you know, court verdict come out than we see somebody new being sworn in. Forgive me, I won't say the middle name because I feel I would botch it, and I think names are important. So I will just go with Isaac Mutuma, who was sworn in as governor of Meru County. It would seem there's also been changes at Meru County. It's also been restive, just as restive as what's been happening at the national government. But yo, this has been third time unlucky for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first, the images also on Monday of the who is who in Meru politics dancing. I have to say that is the longest queue of men in Meru County and a few women dancing. I've never seen such a swearing in of a county governor.
Midway, you know. Yeah. This is not even after an election where you're celebrating a victory.
Even after an election,
it's never.
The governor-elect or the elected governor, look at that.
Look at that.
That is the Deputy Speaker of the Senate of Kenya, Kawira Murungi.
Who presided over the impeachment proceedings at the Senate.
Well, I think Robert wants us to listen a bit to what dance that is. Yeah, so umetutoa mbali. I mean, it's a beautiful song, but also when you see those men dancing, it tells you something. Yes. And I'm being deliberate because that image, majority of them are men, the who is who in Meru County, and never mind, there are a few women. So it tells you who was interested in seeing Governor Kawira Mwangaza out of office. And you recall that Governor Kawira has had a very rough terrain since she was elected. And it started, I believe, on the 19th of October 2022. She was supposed to go and address the county assembly to give the state of the county address. And I remember, because I worked on that particular story, and she walks in, then the MCAs stand up and they walk out. Yeah. And then the Speaker of the Assembly stands up and says, "Sit down, Governor. When you look at the quorum, we do not have quorums, and so this sitting is adjourned." And everyone has to walk out. Immediately, Governor Kawira Mwangaza walked out of that assembly, and when she stepped out, she found the MCAs singing. Do you know what they were singing? There's that tune, Kawira Bai. I can't sing, but it was Kawira Bai, Kawira Bai.
This was in October.
October of 2022.
The election was in August.
No, it wasn't 8th. It was 9th.
9th of August, yeah.
Now, that particular song they were singing, I think we can listen to it of Kawira Bai so that we can contextualize this.
The ayes, those who voted for the ayes are 49. Honourable members, and the governor stands impeached by the County Assembly of Meru.
Yeah, so that's a different event. This is way after she has now tried to put in place her government and she's impeached. But back to October, they walked out and they went to sing against her, that Kawira Bai, and she actually left the presence of that assembly. But that is the same song that her spouse had sung when Governor Kiraitu Murungi was defeated in the election. She sang, replete with a guitar, and that time he was saying, Kingangi Bai. That's what he said.
Okay.
So it was sort of payback time. But now...
Is that a nickname?
Well, I think so. I think it's a popular name in Meru for people like him.
Wow.
Because when you go there, you'll hear that name on several occasions. But So that was sort of the original seed was planted. And thereafter, she has never managed to address that county. She has never managed even...
She hasn't ever had a county address? County Assembly address?
I don't believe.
Oh, wow.
And even when she tried to take forward names to be vetted for CSCs, she was frustrated. She only got a few CSCs in office. And then thereafter, now she had all the impeachment motions leveled against her. The first one, which was passed by the Assembly but failed at the Senate. The second one, passed by the County Assembly but failed at the Senate. And that time, she was actually saved. She was weeping on the floor of the Senate. And that time, you recall that members of the Senate addressing her and telling her, this is time now that you need to go and reconcile with the leaders in Meru County. And I think also at the time, she was also able to bring out evidence to show the sort of mistreatment that she was going through. But now eventually with the third impeachment motion that was brought against her in the Senate, she faced a serious challenge because at the time she was trying to explain to them that it is the same witch hunting that has been going on that is being leveled against me once again. But the senators were like, okay, this is too much. The county government of Meru has not been able to function since August 2022. And I remember them saying, the senators saying that this is time that we need to make a decision. One of them said, we need to send them to court. And indeed, to court they went.
Yeah, you know, you've just mentioned that second impeachment and how she was able to survive, because it speaks to, I think, the dancing that we saw, where she was basically saying, look at the things that these men are saying about me. And that video evidence was quite compelling, and that's what saved her, because the senators were able to see just what was happening. And I think it's important for us to remind people of just what that relationship has been like, and that is what then gives context to that jubilant dance. But let's listen to that. This was, remember, impeachment number 2 of former Governor Kawira Mwangaza. Listen to some of the evidence that she presented at the Senate about some of the rather
unprintable,
unpleasant remarks. Watch.
Ankwando mwe Kawira Mwangaza utendo elio ukavatia mwana mwenyo kidata tumwana boloi tolenda kuwa kene tutike murea baichu imugoro ku ya mwana nwe ya pronto abori agera mwana mbele na kayuyu age babaile age baba tenjamba loi kantenjamba ara mera rume Kawira ankwando ya kabalo beka angwe ndenda kenda menya wa mwekoro wale mwekoro muchoro kwa eta mwenda.
What is he saying?
He's saying that he has given me 9 months to be pregnant. And if that is not done, he will do it via what he's holding. That is my deputy governor, with some youths from his area, saying that Kawira doesn't have a home. She only does prostitution in the county, and they are praising him and warming him up to be the governor or take over.
And even then, during that, and you know, we have to apologize because that was some really difficult and nasty things to watch, but we believe it's past watershed hours. But during that same impeachment proceeding, she then did make a final plea about trying to go back and make things work at the county. Listen.
Every one of us has his or her own weaknesses. It is my prayer to God that the weaknesses that they might have, God will help me, so that we work together as a team and make Meru people happy.
And she was saved. But the third time, you know, it wasn't. But when you see that, and then you now juxtapose that with the dancing that was happening, and I'd just like to point out from those images that you mentioned, not only were they, you know, mostly men, but you had the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, you had a former senator, you even had the Cabinet Secretary for Water, Eric Muga, who was present. There was Florence Kajuju. There was just about everybody who's had any form of leadership within Meru County was there. And that does speak volumes about just, how everything went. So, the second time was, she was saved, obviously, after all of that. But it didn't seem to count again for the third impeachment. And we find ourselves there watching what was a full celebration, a full prayer service after that. And it was also the things that the newly sworn-in governor was saying, after that, that were interesting. And I guess we will get to some of those in a bit. But Jamila,
I think Yvonne, I wanted to add something.
Yeah.
Kawira Mwangaza won the 2022 elections as an independent candidate. She garnered 41.5% of the votes. That was 209,148 votes. And she beat Mithika Linturi, who was the UDA candidate. He got 183,859. But remember, he was rewarded by being given the post of CS for Agriculture after losing to Kawira Mwangaza. And Kiraitu Murungi was third with 110,814. So there was this whole thing at the time about this woman who was an independent candidate beating political giants in Meru so resoundingly that she ends up being elected one of the female governors in the 2022 elections, and she really beat them quite well because her campaigns were really good. She went to the grassroots and she was able to convince people to vote for her despite being an independent candidate. But we talk about how things changed for her almost immediately after her win. Yes, she did go to Karen to pledge allegiance I don't know if President Ruto had been sworn in by then, but then she was one among many independent winners in the elections who trooped to Karen to pledge allegiance to President Ruto. But soon after her win, she's really had a difficult time. I don't know if she has even been able to do any development projects in Meru. And as I finished, Yvonne, I would love to know what the people of Meru think, because we keep hearing about what MCAs are saying. We keep hearing about them impeaching her in the assembly. We're seeing all these politicians, from sitting ones and former ones, all of them against her. But what do the people of Meru, those 209,148 who elected her as their governor, think about what Kawira Mwangaza has gone through? I think about the spectacle that she's becoming, and all the embarrassment, and the 3 times that they've tried to remove her from office and they finally succeeded. What does this mean now for the future of Meru County? They have a new governor who was the deputy who was fighting Kawira Mwangaza. We're not wishing him ill will or anything, but does this mean that finally we'll actually see some work being done in Meru County? Will the residents of Meru finally actually have a governor who can actually do what they're supposed to do? Deliver their mandate? Yeah,
before we go on, I just want us to listen to the governor because, I mean, in there pledging to work for them, but also, again, just managing to make a little dig at former Governor Kawira Mwangaza.
Clear today, I declare today that the political grandstanding has come to an instant end. I commit to work with each one of you. I will operate an open door policy where each one of you is welcome. We have a past, a painful past of trials and sacrifice, a burden borne by many of our leaders and the people they lead, a past that we should deliberately and consciously choose to forget.
Yeah, a past.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think Yvonne, Kawira Mwangaza was an outlier in Meru politics from the beginning. First, her election as a woman representative. She ran a media house and got her way through. You remember she had a couple of run-ins with the then Governor Kiraitu Murungi. Her media house was sort of being clamped down every now and again for not paying rates, advertising without authority and all that. So from the word go, she was somebody who was seen not to be a member of the Meru political family. When she becomes the governor, and something of interest for me is that there were 5 impeachment notices. I think that's a record in the history of devolution, that there were 5 impeachment notices that were brought against her, but only 3 succeeded. Tells you a lot.
Yeah.
a number of these MCAs claim that in her manifesto she had promised them some 100 million ward fund, that at the very onset when they had the first meeting, she told them to forget about it, that was not going to happen. And that tells you that why from day one they had been decampaigning her, they had been antagonizing her and ensuring that her stay in office was not tenable. But then again, her stay in office did not come without any dark spots. As we can all remember, when the murder of the Meru blogger, Sniper or somebody?
Yes.
You remember the husband, the sister were all taken in for interrogation, and actually one of the brothers was arrested. I think this also compounded into the problems she was now facing, because at least these people found some more fodder that would use against her. But all said and done, I think what happened in Meru and seeing that congregation of men tells you clearly that her rise to the helm of that county was viewed with a lot of bitterness from the men, was viewed with a lot of disdain, and tells you so much about the current or the crop of political leaders that we have in Meru today.
Yeah, and you know, I also recall there was a time when she was, and we were talking about this earlier, when she was arrested.
Oh yes,
when delivering
dairy, needy family.
She has the cows that she was delivering to different homesteads.
Yes,
and there's that image of her sitting in the back of
police
of that car,
vehicle,
and the then CS for Interior. Then, you know, stopped
yes, there's a program called Okolea, which at that time the Cabinet Secretary, now Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, had said it was having elements of illegality. But when she was arrested and reported, the police came later to apologize and say it was a case of mistaken identity. And you wonder, who doesn't know a governor of a county? And I remember one of the hilarious things is to see the delivery of a dairy cow. And it looks like a very small thing or a very village thing. But you have to speak to the people who are receiving this cow and tell you the magnitude of that, because it has also been done by other counties. There are counties that have gone ahead to come up with a program to either give seeds or to give cows, and as a way of helping the local communities get
empowering them economically.
Exactly, to empower them economically. But hey, what you're not saying here is that she's innocent. There's a case against her from the county assembly to the Senate, and the Senate agreed with the county assembly. The matter has gone to the High Court, and they have said that the process was followed as per the law. And as far as those allegations are concerned, there were also issues of abuse of office. She appears not to have satisfactorily convinced the Senate, but she never appeared before the county assembly to defend her case.
Yeah, and just as we get there, it would seem, it's ironic, isn't it? She's a bishop, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the new governor is a reverend.
Yep. It was a very interesting ticket.
Yes, but still one fraught with issues from the start. Make of that what you will.
Oh, the deputy governor
I thought you were about to describe then the county assembly as the conclave.
May as well been. You get the final word on this one.
Yeah, but look, we say this with tremendous respect to the people of Meru. There are things we possibly don't know, because this has been one of the most difficult stories to analyze. Kawira Mwangaza and the whole wrangles of the Meru County. But this has to be said. One is Kawira Mwangaza was a maverick, without a doubt. And she comes across as an independent-minded campaigner who succeeded quite a lot directly, taking the direct route to the people. And Sam, you are describing the dairy program, Okolea. On the ground, it looked quite popular. It really touched the regular folk. And Kawira had a way, either through her church or through the television station that she runs, to reach the ordinary folk in Meru. And usually, and maybe unwisely, to the exclusion of other leaders. And one of the things that maybe can be observed is Was she a victim of poor people skills? That she was maybe a lone ranger? Mostly the man by her side was clearly the man with the guitar at all times, the husband, who also had a knack for, very nasty political fightbacks.
He and that guitar were quite something.
Yes,
quite lethal.
He would quickly compose a song about you if they differed with you.
In the world of rap, those are known as diss tracks.
Yes.
But, I mean, with him, it's a guitar.
It's a guitar. It was very, very effective and very annoying for whoever was in the opposite side of its tune. And that is Kawira Mwangaza, very successful in directly reaching the ordinary people. And I think, Jamila, that's how she won the numbers you described there. And look, how about something else that we must really observe? This is one woman who actually made a career in politics without relying on men. I think that really comes out clearly. As far as I'm concerned, the only man we've seen on her side is the man with the guitar, the husband. We don't, normally for some, and unfortunately the case of politics in Kenya, women sometimes have had to rely on aligning themselves to somebody. Maybe Mrengo Fulani, you have to be with a certain presidential candidate. Here was an independent that you described, Jamila, and she ran on a ticket that was independent, basically. Yep. It's daring, and then she succeeds. Look, here is my fear. If she manages to get her name cleared and goes back to the ballot, again, her game is direct with the people, and she can still cause problems. But her main problem, in my view, was people's skills. She couldn't relate with fellow leaders, and she couldn't really form the alliances that are necessary in politics. Finally, I mean, we've not seen her in any mainstream media. I don't know whether anybody has ever succeeded to tell her how things work out here in terms of you actually supposed to answer media questions. What she does is she does those straight press conferences, address the camera.
And sends
the footage,
a Trump in a skirt, I think. And she did it very, very effectively.
Yes.
Yeah, because Trump doesn't like those sit-downs. I want to talk directly to the people. Yeah. And Kawira used her television station.
Yeah.
She's never been here on this set or any in our...
No.
Yeah. Not even Sam Gituku's Daybreak. None. Because somehow I think these are things that she doesn't believe are necessary in her path. So I think it's over for now for Kawira Mwangaza till the courts again pronounce themselves on because remember the effect of impeachment is you may not be able to run for office again. So if she gets that overturned, then she's back in the ballot, and I think she is a very, very effective campaigner, especially direct to the people.
Yeah. So let's see how things go at the Court of Appeal. I think she's stated that she's headed there.
She wants to go there.
Yes.
Yeah. So Court of Appeal, and whatever
all
happens.
Those candidates who run for election in that county for governorship, they're now out of work.
Yeah.
All the three.
All three.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes.
Kawira Mwangaza,
Franklin
Nturi,
and Kiraitu Marungi.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you never know.
And honestly, how sexist some of that has been appearing. When you see all these men in one side and the clips that Yvonne we saw earlier, that kind of language, there was a very, very strong element of sexism in this Meru battle. That was the ugly side of the of this battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. On that note, I think Sam, you can maliza kwanza.
Okay.
Na uende alafu.
Yeah.